Hey guys, my name is Dr. Kayla Steltenkamp. I'm going to be your professor this semester for your Spring 1 class of ECE 503. I'm excited about helping Georgetown teach this course again. I am not a full-time professor at Georgetown. I'm considered an adjunct, so I don't have a physical office location there on campus, but with this being an online program, I feel like most of us don't visit campus as often or at all. So if you need me, you're more than welcome to reach out to me through email and we can meet over the phone if we need to, but I do not have an actual office location. This is a very quick 7-week class, so it's important that you stay up to date on everything. And I'm going to go through this syllabus quickly, just give a couple of overarching ideas, and then you're going to have a syllabus assignment to turn in the very first week. You also have, as part of your syllabus assignment on the worksheet, to watch this video. And so the answer to number 1 is going to be 18. So make sure you write number 18 down there. The textbook you need this semester, it looks like this: Teaching Students with Learning Problems. There you go. It's right here. If you haven't ordered it yet, make sure you get on and order it quickly because our assignments are going to begin right away reading the chapters. It is required that you read the chapters. So when I look through the discussion board, it's going to be pretty obvious to me if you have a full understanding or not of your chapter. So make sure you do that. You're going to need a live text subscription. If you don't have one yet, you're going to need one throughout this whole program. It's sort of like an online portfolio. So every class has at least one major assessment that you will upload to live text. It's always graded in Moodle or Sage, which it's now called. But you upload it to live text and then the professor will put, basically it's a pass-fail assignment because it's already been graded. So that just is your placeholder to make sure that it has all of your assessments for the time that you graduate. In terms of an attendance policy, this course used to be a weekly chat, and Georgetown has moved away from weekly chat. So now we strictly use a discussion board. That means that each week you're going to have to post a discussion based on whatever the idea is that's posted there on Sage and reply to a couple of your peers. The attendance policy means that each week you must make sure that you're participating in the discussion boards. You will not be given any credit for going back after the fact. So all the discussion board posts are due by Sunday evening at midnight, and if you post on Monday morning, that will not count towards any of your points. So just make sure that you're staying up to date with all of those discussion boards, because it's sort of like showing up to a party after everybody's left. There's nobody there to talk to, and so it defeats the purpose of adding to a discussion after the discussion's already finished. Let's see. Let me look through the syllabus a little bit more. Okay, you can write down the answer to number 2 is 36. So on your little worksheet there, the answer to number 2 is 36. The class is broken down by weeks, as you'll see here, and there's always a due date on this side. So your major assessments are always going to be on Tuesday evenings. So make sure you look at that, because I don't want you to wait until Sunday or Monday to see what's due that week when it'll be due the next day. So make sure you're always looking at your syllabus and working ahead of schedule, because the due dates of the major assignments are always due Tuesday, okay? Discussion boards are a little bit different. Your major assignments are always due on Tuesday. So here it is broken up weekly by what you're expected to do each week, and then over on this side are the major assessments. So you've got these are all of your assignments total. Your weekly discussion boards are worth 20 points. So that's a pretty big amount of points for each week. You are expected to post an initial response by Wednesday evening of each week, and then reply to 3 of your peers by Sunday evening. Right here it sort of says, once again, what those expectations are, and you'll get, this is how your points break up. You get 10 points for a thoughtful discussion post and 10 points for replying to 3 of your peers. If you reply to 2 of your peers, that might be 8 points, something like that. And it also, your points will depend on the thoroughness or the discussion that you're giving. So if you just write something like, oh yeah, that sounds great, or I love that idea, or I'm going to try that idea, that's not really participating in a discussion or a thoughtful discussion. So that wouldn't necessarily mean that you would get your full 10 points if you just have 3 little good idea responses. So make sure that your responses are thoughtful. Um, then you're going to work on some other things. So you want to make sure that you have access of an IEP. This does not count for points, but you need to have some sort of IEP to refer to when you're writing your lesson plans and your unit plans. And then we have here's your classroom context. So this is sort of going through and describing what your classroom looks like. You'll just read through here. That'll be 25 points. And then you have 3 lesson plans. So your lesson plans are 25 points each. And ultimately, at the end, you'll put your classroom context and all 3 lesson plans into your unit plan. And that also counts for points. So you'll get your classroom context, 3 lesson plans, you get feedback, you get to edit those, kind of compile them all together in a nice little unit plan, and that's the same thing that's due at the end of the semester. So it sort of all is a puzzle piece that you work on throughout the semester. You're going to have 3 lesson plans, a reading, a writing, and a math one. And the expectations are listed here on the syllabus and will be graded throughout. Then there'll be a student growth guideline, and you're going to look at the growth of your unit. And sometimes you're not really quite sure, so you just do your best. If you haven't taught all 3 lessons, you're going to have to project sort of what you think will happen. And then you have your unit plan, which is worth 100 points, and that is the compilation of everything that you've done, and that is what will go into live text. So the grading scale is a little bit different than you might be used to. An A ends at a 93 and a B starts at a 92, so just make note of that. And other than that, another major thing that I want to talk about is that no late assignments are going to be accepted this semester. It has become really disheartening to me throughout working with master students, the amount of late assignments. Last semester when I taught a course for Georgetown, out of 21 students, only 11 had them in on time, and that just doesn't work for me. One person out of the other remaining people who were late asked for an extension. The rest of them just simply didn't say anything about turning it in late, and that's just completely unacceptable. You wouldn't want that of your students that you're going to be teaching in your course, and so I want you guys to conduct yourselves as you would want to be treated as a professor or as a teacher in the classroom. So I'm not accepting late assignments at all this semester. If for some reason we have agreed that your schedule is crazy and you need an extension, I may grant you an extension, but you're still going to have a penalty, and that's what this discusses. So I'm not going to accept late assignments unless you have sent me an email prior to the due date. We've agreed that you can have a couple of days of extension, but you will still get a penalty, and that's based on this right here. So if you have any questions about that, ask me ahead of time. The answer to number 3, if I didn't do that one yet, is 52. So make sure you write that down. Other than that, review the syllabus. Make sure that you're using proper formatting, APA, things like that when you turn things in. Also, every assignment has a rubric already. That's how I'm going to be grading you. You should grade yourself on that rubric before you turn the assignment in. And you should always try to get the most points possible. So last semester, somebody handed in a rubric to me. They pre-graded themselves with a 70 out of 100. That's completely unacceptable. The other thing is, I think sometimes you turn in an assignment and then I grade it based on the rubric and you're a little bit surprised by your grade. If you make sure that you look at the rubric before you hit an assignment, you know what the criteria is that I'm grading you on. And so I always want you to make sure that you pre-grade yourself on that rubric before you hand in the assignment. Other than that, we're just going to work quickly throughout this semester. I look forward to seeing your discussion posts, and I wish you the best. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I always try to write you back as soon as possible. All right, have a great semester. I look forward to learning from you guys.